Everything, to me, like the process is a system, and no single component exists without the other. So to not be influenced by everything around you is you're kind of missing something. My first full collection, though, is Assumption, which came out just 2 weeks ago from Unbound Content, and it's the first in a series of 3 books or 3 manuscripts that I collected pre-MFA program. I just started an MFA program over at Northwestern, and it's fantastic for one, but I guess when I wrote these, I was not aware of how much I didn't know. So I think the pleasure of this is it's raw to a point, but it's very truthful. I got into poetry while I was pursuing a career in professional football, so it's sort of it's strange how that worked out. But one thing that definitely comes from like an athletic background is that the concept of like staying up late and finishing a project or working on something on the weekend, you know what I mean? The discipline behind it is like not even a thought, to be honest. It just doesn't bother me, and that's all attributed. Well, it's attributed to my upbringing, my parents, my dad especially, playing football for so long, being involved in athletics, and yeah, I think it's now proven to be very beneficial when it comes to writing, getting stuff down, producing work. I can't remember who said it, but someone referred to like poetry as like you could feel it coming on like a storm, sort of, and your obligation sort of as a writer was to get it down before it like drifted over you and left. So that timing can be difficult, and I try to jump on it whenever possible. So Matthew Zapruder is a favorite of mine, absolutely. I think he's doing some really incredible things. I think Matthew Zapruder is sort of taking poetry to the masses in a really non-obvious sense. I think his language, I know he studied a lot of language, like I think he has a master's in like Slavic languages or something like that. He knows exactly what he's doing. His concepts are broad and deep and wise, but sort of attainable. I won't say for the average reader, but for the reader who's willing to work at it even a little bit, I think it's out there for them. So Matthew Zapruder, absolutely. Campbell McGrath, I think, is phenomenal. In fact, I appreciate his process and the amount he creates. I think I can identify with that. Whatever you're trying to say, whatever you're trying to undermine or reestablish or just consider in a different way is irrelevant if you can't ask the reader to approach the work to start off with. So there's got to be, in painting, I think it's just, maybe it's color, maybe it's composition, whatever it is, you have to draw the viewer in poetry, I think it's establishing some sort of foothold. I try not to get too attached to the layers once I've decided to paint over them. That painting is like 8 layers deep. That's probably like 5 or 6. It's sort of like a life view, to be honest. It's a callous life view, but it's one. It is, you know, once something's gone, it's gone to a point. And you know, I've got some life experiences that influence that thinking. I've never tried to kind of recapture a painting that I've painted over. I've never felt that like regret, which is a good thing, because it's not true with my life. You know, I think nostalgia weighs very heavy on me. I think I was nostalgic even when I was like a kid. When I was like 8, I was like, man, 7 was awesome. But so in this process, I can acknowledge that, but not get hung up on it. I can move quickly to the next thing. So it's cathartic in that way, I think.